No alarm clock, no sunrise ritual. Just breath, frost, and instinct. She opens her eyes before the light does. Somewhere close, a branch snaps. Not the wind, something heavier. In the world she lives in, that single sound decides whether today is ordinary or the last one. Archaeologists believe this tension, wonder mixed with constant risk, is the true baseline of Stone Age life. Not boredom, not simplicity, vigilance. So what did a full day actually look like 40,000 years ago? For over a century, popular imagination painted early humans as slow, brutish, dragging clubs between grunts. The evidence tells a different story. Studies of surviving hunter-gatherer societies, combined with archaeological data, suggest early humans spent far less time working than we assume, often 4 to 6 hours a day securing food. The rest of daylight went to something else entirely: tool-making, storytelling, childcare, rest, and problem-solving. This wasn't a lazy life, it was an efficient one. And efficiency, in the Ice Age, was the difference between a full stomach and a starving winter. The camp stirs slowly. Fire first. Someone crouches over last night's embers, feeding in dry moss, coaxing a flame back from almost nothing. Fire wasn't just warmth. Evidence from sites like Wonderwork Cave in South Africa suggests controlled fire use stretches back roughly 1 million years, reshaping diet, safety, and the length of the usable day itself. Around the flame, the group checks each other. Who's injured? Who's missing? Who dreamed of something worth telling? Then, without a spoken plan, the day divides itself. Some will hunt, some will gather, some will stay and build. A woman moves through low brush, fingers reading the plants like a language. Roots here, berries there. A patch of tubers marked days ago, now ready. Researchers studying isotopic evidence from ancient teeth and bones now believe plant foods made up a much larger share of the Paleolithic diet than once assumed, sometimes the majority of daily calories. This wasn't a side task, it was survival engineering. She knows which plants heal a wound, which ones are poison, which ones only grow near water, meaning water isn't far. Every gathered handful is also a stored memory, passed down without paper, without writing. Just repetition and trust. Across the ridge, 3 men move low through tall grass, spears angled down. They've been tracking since dawn, not chasing, tracking, reading broken stems, reading fresh droppings, reading wind direction against their own scent. Persistence hunting, running prey to exhaustion over hours, is one theory supported by both ethnographic study and physiology. Humans, uniquely among primates, are built for long-distance endurance. Then, stillness. A deer lifts its head. Nobody breathes. One wrong step here doesn't just cost dinner. Spear thrower evidence, like the 17,000-year-old atlatl finds in France, shows just how much technology went into making sure that mistake happened as rarely as possible. The throw is fast. The aftermath is silence and then motion. Back at camp, an old man sits with a stone in each hand. Strike. A flake falls away. Strike again. This is napping, and it isn't random. Excavated tool sites like those at Boxgrove in England reveal astonishing consistency. The same angles, the same techniques repeated across generations. This was an apprenticeship, a curriculum without a single written word. A finished blade could butcher meat, scrape hide, cut plant fiber, or become a weapon. One stone, 4 lives it could save. Nearby, 2 children mimic the old man's motions with softer stones, giggling when a flake flies the wrong way. This wasn't idle play, it was training disguised as fun. Anthropological studies of contemporary hunter-gatherer communities suggest children learn most survival skills through imitation and unsupervised play, not formal instruction. A missed strike today means a working blade in 10 years. Nobody tells them that. They just keep playing. As light fades, the group gathers again. Meat roasts. Someone begins to speak, hands moving, voice rising and falling. We can't know the exact words spoken around Ice Age fires, but cave art, like the 17,000-year-old paintings at Lascaux, suggests storytelling and symbolic thought were already deeply present, a way of turning the day's danger into shared meaning. The hunt becomes a story. The story becomes memory. The memory becomes a lesson for the next hunt. This is the oldest form of education humanity ever built. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your body still expects that day. The instinct to move in the morning, the craving for company at a shared meal, the comfort of firelight, the urge to tell a story about something hard that happened today. These aren't modern habits. Evolutionary anthropologists argue these patterns are inherited rhythms, thousands of generations deep, reshaped by agriculture, cities, and now screens, but never fully erased. Every campfire, every group dinner, every bedtime story is a quiet echo of that Ice Age evening. That footprint we started with, the one sprinting from a giant sloth, was found alongside dozens of others, adults, children, all moving together. Nobody outran that day alone. They survived it as a group, hunting, gathering, teaching, telling stories. The same rhythm your own day still quietly follows, whether you notice it or not. So, the next time you sit down for a meal with people you trust or tell a friend about your day, you're not doing something new. You're doing something 40,000 years old.